Hey, welcome back to another edition of the Burnout with yours truly, Anthony. Um, we took some time off, but we back now. We ready to get back into it. I got a story here that might affect a lot of people who play the lottery, and you have to be very careful because this is the first time I'm hearing about this one. And we just gonna dive right into it. It says a Florida woman, $2,900 lottery winning taken by the state because it was overpaid, because she was overpaid by unemployment during the pandemic, is what they're saying. So basically, they saying her lottery winnings was taken from her because they overpaid her during the pandemic. Now, we all getting this at the same time because this is the first time I'm actually hearing about this. So I'm finding this out as we go along, and I'm trying to get some understanding about this. So maybe we can, somebody can give me some clarification on it because I have no clue how this even works at this point. Because I really didn't think that if you paid your money for a lottery ticket and won, it had anything to do with you owing, they overpaid you during the pandemic. So maybe somebody who done been in this situation can let me know about it because I have no clue, but we'll dive right into it. It says a woman in Kissimmee, Florida won nearly $3,000 on a Florida lottery ticket only to learn the state would not pay her. She was told it was because she was overpaid in unemployment benefits during the pandemic. I got a few questions about that in itself. Elizabeth Thornton told Fox 35 she was laid off from her job at Disney in 2020 and struggled with the unemployment process before eventually getting benefits. Years later, she thought she had caught a big break. When I won, I said I could get up on my car note, my insurance, pay some bills, help my family out a little bit. My daughters, my grandkids, give them a little something. Thornton said, "You're gonna do a lot with $3,000." Thornton won $29 on a Pick 4 ticket. Her joy quickly turned to confusion when she showed up at the lottery office. Thornton was told she was overpaid by $8,000 when she received her unemployment benefits. She tells Fox 35 she was told the overpayment was waived by the state and she didn't have to pay it back. Ron DeSantis state, so that doesn't surprise me one bit. This situation is unique as winning the lottery, said Art Scofield, an unemployment attorney. It's not going to happen to too many people at all. Scofield said most overpayments were waived by the state since it was the state's mistake, but that doesn't mean it won't try to get its money back somehow. So they just blatantly lied then, if that's the case. The overpayment, while they're not clawing the money back, it doesn't mean that it might not come up at some point in time, like when you have a lottery winning. And now you're pulling from the same entity, so to speak. The state agency is in charge of unemployment benefits told Fox 35 they tried reaching out to Thornton and they do withhold lottery payments when somebody was overpaid. Thornton says she'll keep fighting to get her check. You need to send me she said, you need to send me the money, Thornton said. You took the money out. That don't belong to you. You told me I didn't owe anything. You waived it. They lied, obviously. I don't really know what else to say. Gopher says while the situation in Red will likely happen again, he says the same thing happened if someone wins the lottery and has unpaid child support. Well, number one, what this unemployment attorney was talking about, unpaid child support and you overpaying and say if waived is two different things. So I don't even know why he even mentioned that. But if they say they waived it and the pandemic was in 2019, 2020. Why y'all coming at it now then? Looking at almost 4 or 5 years later, and all of a sudden y'all want it. This is a state run by Ron DeSantis, who is a fool. But I'm just curious that if y'all that desperate for $3,000, then why did you waive the $8,000 that you overpaid? Now I know mistakes happen, but that's not right to take money from people just because they won a little bit on the lottery, saying we overpaid you, but you waived it. See, that doesn't even make any sense to me. Now, if indeed what everything that's in this article is true, which is from Fox 35 Orlando, I couldn't tell you one way or the other. But if it is true that the state is crooked, well, we know the state is crooked because we know who's the governor of the state. So it's not rocket science. Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida, and we know he's crooked as a corkscrew. So that this is not no big surprise to me. But this is my thing. If you say you waived it because it's your mistake, which this article says, then why are you withholding her lottery winnings? For instance, I didn't even know the lottery had anything. If you paid your money to buy a ticket and you won, I don't know what the state got to do with that. Now, if you owe child support, I can kind of see that. They're not going to waive child support. But if they waive this, and they said they have done many people like this, why are y'all withholding her $3,000? It ain't like it's a substantial lot of money. I'm confused a little bit, trying to figure out, are y'all that broke that you need to take $3,000 from somebody who won it off a scratch for it? If you that broke, then you need to blame the head of the state, which is Ron DeSantis, who's been trying to take Black history out of schools for the longest. He's in bed with white supremacists. It's been proven. That's time and time again. So this is no surprise. He's definitely a Trump supporter. He's not. I don't understand him. You're a Trump supporter, but you talk about him. But then when you dropped out the race to be president, you back in alliance with him. I don't understand that. But that's neither here nor there. That's a topic for another day. We're going to stick on this. And to take a lady, an elderly lady, basically $3,000 that she won off the scratch for, because you said she owed $8,000, you overpaid $8,000 in the pandemic. But then you know what? I hope she's got a letter saying it has been waived, because if she has that letter, y'all are going to have to pay her that money back. But you should pay it back anyway, because you shouldn't be that low down in the first place. But if she has that letter that states that y'all say y'all waived that money because of them, I don't know how you can come back and then say, well, you owe us $8,000. And I hope to God that she saves that letter. I really do. Because they're not going to send you a copy of it back now, because they will make them look like a complete fool. But anybody who played the lottery, you make sure you don't owe the state anything, because it's evident that they will try to come back and take it by any means necessary. Because the one thing I can say, the governor of Florida is not going to step in. The only reason they step in is when it becomes a big issue. And now they're trying to make themselves look good. Now that he's out of the race for president, and he really has no reason to do anything now, which he didn't have a reason before because he wasn't doing it. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me that this is the route that they would take down there. And I know they're going to come up with every excuse, but we didn't send no letter. We didn't say anything of such. And I wish to God that she has a letter that said that we will waive the overpayment, because without any letter or any kind of receipts, as the young people call it, they'll get away with this. They'll get away with this scotch clean. That would be very little to anything that anybody can do about it at this point. But it's just funny that you wait 4 years to bring this subject up. If you was that hard up for $8,000, when the pandemic ended, you should have been going after it then. That's what I would have done. I wouldn't wait 4 or 5 years later and then take a lottery winning that, like I said, it's not that big much money, but to somebody who doesn't have it, that's life changing. And Miss Elizabeth Thornton is life changing because she said she can catch up on some bills, car notes, and even though all that, she was still talking about giving her kids some, giving her grandkids some. So it's the highs and the lows that you get high because you finally get a chance you can pay some stuff off. You can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then it drops down low when it says they took it from you. You know, that's an emotional roller coaster. Just want to know why. I would like to hear from them to see how it feels to sham an elderly person. If that makes you a big man, how do you sleep at night? I know they don't care. That's been evident. And the only reason they would give this money back to her if it's too much publicity given to this particular topic and it makes them look bad. Then it was a mistake. Our record shows this. We didn't mean to do that. You meant to do everything you're doing right now. You just didn't mean for all this publicity to come your way. You didn't expect Fox 35 to get a hold to it over in Orlando. But it's just funny and just crazy that you would rob a woman like that for $3,000 and allegedly you said you would waive it. So I would like some people who know more about this than I do to come and leave a comment and explain to me how this works, because I really don't understand this. I didn't think that I just didn't understand. Oh, excuse me, it was a long night last night, but I'm back in the saddle though. I just want somebody to explain to me how this works, and I don't need no generic answers. We don't need no terminology that only lawyers can interpret. Just regular people like us can kind of get our mind around it and get some understanding of how this works. And you know what I would really want to know is, have this happened before? Because, like I said, this is the first time I've heard about it. Under those circumstances, not about the child support. I've heard about that. I heard about child support and they taking it to that point. But I've never heard about overpayment for unemployment, or overpayment in this case for the pandemic, which allegedly was said was waived. I've never heard that, and that's kind of strange to me. Because it seemed like if they would have really wanted it that bad, they would have been pushing this envelope way before now. You pushed it 2-3 years ago instead of waiting 4 or 5 years later. Seemed like they were like wolves in the bush just waiting for something like this to happen so they can pounce on it. I don't get it. But like I said, hopefully somebody who's listening can leave a comment and explain to me and our followers how this works, because I don't have a clue how this works. I'm just curious do they feel big because they did this? Is this something to be proud for? I don't get it. Just so funny that you will wait until she wins some money before you bring this to her attention. And if y'all hadn't said, if you said, and I'm gonna say this one more time, if y'all said y'all would waive it, and then as soon as she won some pocket change or some money, well, in this case, for her, this is life changing, and for a lot of people, this is life changing. $3,000 ain't nothing to sneeze at, people, because you don't have the average person walking around here with $3,000-4,000 in their pocket. It's around income tax time, so you might have some that's doing it now. But it's just to the point. This is life changing to people who don't have it. And for y'all to step in and try to come up with these allegations now. Now, if y'all have tried to reach out to her beyond this, like in 2021, 22, 23, and no response, you sent a letter saying she owed this, you say you didn't waive it, then I have no argument. Now, if y'all went by those procedures, I have no argument. But if y'all did not go by those procedures and actually said you would waive it, then there's no excuse for this. Y'all need to send that woman her money. Because then y'all just a bunch of bold-faced liars. We got a lot of them running around here already. So it's just funny that this happened now. And now all of a sudden you say you can't pay it because of what she owed. And I'm sure there have been cases like this. Not exactly like this, but I'm sure there have been cases where they have denied money that has been owed. I just don't understand why you would do it if you said that we waived the $8,000, which I ain't never known the government be that generous or be that forgiving to waive any amount. But benefit of doubt, let's just say they did. Then you have no reason to try to recoup any of the money that any of that $8,000 that you said you waived. All of this is speculation. We don't know the truth one way or another. We're just getting this from one side. But I just hope to God, if she can prove that they did this, she might can get a little bit more out of than that $3,000. Because it just makes no sense. But like I say, I'm sure it's more than one person who said this. I just don't know. Well, I pulled up another article, and it says second lottery winner tells Fox 35 money was taken by unemployment agency. Like I say, we finding all this out now. I'm doing research as I speak because this was so. It affects so many people because a lot of people play the lottery, and a lot of them might not know this information because, like I say, I had no clue about this. But that woman, first one was from Kissimmee. Well, this is one that's from the Gainesville, Florida area. It says Fox 35 News continued to hear from lottery winners who aren't able to claim their winning. They've been told that it's because they were overpaid in unemployment benefits during the pandemic. So I said I never heard of that first one. Well, evidently there's more than one. It says, talk about a thrill, said Catherine Lambert, after she and her husband won a $1,000 scratch-off ticket. I was excited, laughing and showing everybody, but that was very short-lived when we drove an hour and a half to Gainesville lottery office waiting for the nice check, and my draw dropped. It says Lambert says her draw dropped because when she was told she couldn't have the money because of overpaid unemployment benefits to her husband. After winning the lottery, Lambert received a letter from Florida Commerce saying they owed $1,200. They said was overpaid years ago. So it's beginning to be, one thing is an accident, the next thing is a habit. It's beginning to be common now. As Lambert told Fox 35, the agency reached out years ago saying he was overpaid by $270 and has a record of paying that money back. They don't recall owing any other money. Says, And this one said that they owed $270, overpaid by $275, and the record of paying the money back. I think it's downright sneaky, Lambert said. It's undermining to lottery winners. So this is the second one that said that this done happen. Elizabeth Thornton was the first one out of Kissimmee, Florida. This happened in Gainesville. So we got two different stories here. It says in a statement, Florida Commerce told Fox 35 that it had helped more than 400 claimants with garnished lottery winners resolve their issues and receive their prizes, and said it takes a compassionate approach to those who are experiencing issues with the agency. Once Florida Commerce is notified by the Department of Lottery that a prize winner has been flagged for an overpayment, Florida Commerce proactively contacts the claimant through email or phone to assist them with the overpayment, the agency says. And this is Thornton, which is the lady that won $3,000, said she was told her issue was waived and that the agency had not reached out to her. Lambert says she was notified of an overpayment years ago and paid it. She says she hasn't heard about a new overpayment. So it seems like a lot of crooked mess going down there with the Florida lottery. Because it seems like they don't want to pay. That's what it seems like to me now. Because there's two incidents that done happened. And and once again, I'm not surprised. Based on the leadership in Florida, this does not surprise me. Now, I would give everybody warning. If I was going to play the lottery and I didn't live in Florida, I wouldn't go to Florida. Now, it might not affect you if you don't live in that state. They change the rules as they see fit, so it's hard to say. But if I'm closer to Georgia, I think I go to Georgia. The leadership in Georgia with Kemp ain't much better, but it's better than Ron DeSantis down in Florida. Because right now, I haven't heard any issues out of Georgia with their lottery. But I'm getting issues on top of issues out of Florida, though. So I don't know if I wanted to. I don't know if I would even go to Florida and play the lottery if this is what I got to deal with. So it's funny that one incident says that she owed $8,000 and it was waived. Another incident in Gainesville, Florida, that says you overpaid, and they said they paid it and they hadn't heard anything else about it, and now you take it. You know, it's funny. No, I noticed a pattern here that one of them won $3,000 in 2008, the other one won $1,000 in 1200. They always gonna put you more than what you won. It's blatantly clear that's what they're doing. Because the gentleman said out of Gainesville he didn't owe but $275 and he paid it. But it's ironically they said they owed $1,200. So they're gonna make sure you're not gonna get any of it. Now that's blatantly obvious. They're gonna make sure that you're going to owe more than you won. So if you won $10,000, I guess you owe $15,000. So you're not gonna get it either way. That's the way it's set up from what I'm reading. And it seems like the problem is only in Florida. Now, I ain't saying this ain't happening in Georgia, Tennessee, wherever else you want to say. I haven't heard anything coming out of those states. Florida is the only state. And it's like Fox 35 is the one that's covering it every single time this incident happened. So both of the people who won had issues, and both of them around the Orlando area. Kissimmee is right next to Orlando, and this incident happened in Orlando. And then they said they drove an hour away to Gainesville to receive a check that they wasn't going to get. I just don't know what's going on down in Florida with the lottery. If you don't have many people that play the lottery in Florida, I don't hear a lot of people winning it down there, not the big one. You would think they would have money where you wouldn't have to rip off people who win a small amount. But evidently, and they feel like they have to. There's no comment that came from these offices that took the money. So I'm trying to understand that if you get accused of something, when you come out and defend yourself at some point. Like, we did send letters out, but see, you can't say that if you don't have the receipts to show you did receive the letter. So I hope that lady in Orlando that went to Gainesville won $1,000. I hope they got a receipt that shows they paid that money. And I hope the lady that won $3,000 in Kissimmee, Florida, has a letter that shows and states that they waived it. Because without that evidence, you find a lost cause. There's nothing they're gonna do about it because you have no proof. And whether or not they have any, let's just be honest, they can always make up something and put it in backdate it. That's not difficult to do. But I hope those two have those receipts and that they can recoup their money that is rightfully theirs and move on with their lives, because it's a shame to steal from people. One thing I don't believe in, I don't believe in that lying, and I don't believe in taking stuff that don't belong to me. If it don't belong to me, I don't want it. I tell people all the time, don't lie, because if you tell the truth, you can tell the same story over and over again, it never changes. But when you lie, you gotta constantly change the story. I don't have time for all that changing business. Because number one, I'm too old. I can't remember what I said. If I did lie, I couldn't remember what I said. I'll change the story about 3 or 4 times. So that's why I just say it one time, like it is, and I never have to change it. I can just repeat it over and over again. But with these two individuals, something going on down there in Florida with that lottery system, because too many people are winning and getting their lottery winnings took from them. So, but one thing before we get out of here, the one thing I would love to know, if you won $100,000, would you owe $105,000 in back unemployment payment? Because that begins to be the pattern that they running in. I don't know, if you want $1 million, you owe $1.5 million. It's just funny that Florida is the only state that I'm hearing about this. And like I said, anybody who can explain this to me and our viewers, I would love to know. Especially I would love to know, because it makes no sense to me. But hey, that's another 30 minutes in the books. We'll be back same time, same place next week on The Burnout. And remember, always flame up, but never burn out. 2 fingers, peace.